Hello, all you wonderful readers, viewers, and anybody else watching this. I had to delay this video for about a week because when I was going to record, Texas was in the middle of a deep freeze. Power was going to be a little bit iffy. My little girl was home from school because they wisely canceled school that day. So I haven't been able to put this together until right now. But like I told you, just to thank you all, if you're watching this on YouTube, for all the growth on YouTube, if you're watching this on Facebook, for everything you've done on Facebook, all the new followers, the likes, the comments. As of right now, we're just a couple of people shy of 7,500. You all are amazing, so I told you, you can ask me anything you wanted anonymously, so I'm going to answer those questions right now. What you doing? At the moment, I'm recording a video. I'm also more long-term, if you're asking what you doing in sort of a general context. I'm putting these videos on YouTube, and I'm also working on a novel called Charcoal Streets, which is going a little bit slower than I thought, but I am eternally grateful that my wife is giving me the time to actually work on it. I was the sole breadwinner of the house for a couple of years while she was working on her degree in order to become a speech language pathologist. And now that she's actually working as such, she makes enough that she can cover all the expenses that we need to cover. So she's giving me the time to pursue the thing that I've been wanting to do since the mid 90s, become a writer and publish. So that's what I'm doing right now. We should talk more. Probably. I don't know who you are, but we probably should. We should talk more often. Again, probably. Human contact, right? I don't know who you are, but yeah, we probably should. All my friends think you're cute. Thank you. I'm sure you're cute too. You've been so happy lately. You know what? I have. Even though it's been a rough couple of months, I've been fighting a really bad bout of insomnia since maybe September, early October. Yeah, generally I'm pretty happy. A lot of stuff I'm trying to work through right now, but on a day-to-day basis, yeah, I'm okay. If a man is alone in the forest and he says something, is he still wrong? I mean, if something is not observed, does it actually exist? Yes, actually it does. So, yes, to answer your question, yes. How can a halfling seduce a drow? Well, okay, now we're getting into some D&D stuff here, but that entirely depends on whether the drow is male or female. Now, if they are female, you're not going to. No, you're not going to seduce a drow because she will use you in whatever way she deems, I don't want to say proper, but you will be used. You will be a pawn in some machination of hers, and at the end of it, you'll probably be sacrificed to Lolth. So no, you're not going to you're not going to seduce a female drow. Now, if you're talking about a male drow, that's probably different. However, at the end of the day, the halfling's still going to come up short. How much of your high school years do you still remember? Interesting question. I've actually talked about a little bit about this on the Facebook page. My memories of everything before maybe when I was 25, they're very cloudy. There's a lot of reasons which I'm not going to go into right now. But as far as high school goes, there are some major things that I remember. I remember graduation. I remember 9/11. I remember like a lot of the major events. I remember friends and like sensations, like smells and things like that. But overall, there's a lot of things that just kind of blur together, and if I focus hard enough, I can remember a lot of them. But it's kind of like trying to remember a movie you saw when you were like 5 or 4 years old, and you've heard people talk about it, so you kind of know what happens, but you're more than sure you're kind of filling in the gaps with your own imagination. I don't remember a lot of it. Okay, the Game of Thrones joke, right? Okay, I think I've actually heard this one before. Tyrion's the one telling it, and if I remember correctly, guy walks into the brothel, and he's supposed to be a small person. wants to do a brothel and with a honeycomb and a mule. And the proprietor asks him, what is with the mule and the honeycomb? And he says, well, my wife found a genie and gave her 3 wishes. The first one was for a home fit for a queen, and I got a honeycomb. The second wish was to have the greatest ass in the kingdom, and so gave me the mule. The third one was for my dick to hang below my knees, and the proprietor says, well, doesn't sound so bad. And the guy says, not so bad. I used to be 6'5", 6'6", whatever. Point is, did you have an imaginary friend? Did, still do. And if you want to know more, you really should read Charcoal Streets when I put it out. What is the superior dessert, pie or cake? I actually answered this on Facebook. I put a post about it a few days ago. Cake is in fact superior. Pie is good. I'm not going to belittle pie. Pie has a lot of stuff going for it. Pie has great personality. But if you gave me the greatest pie and the greatest cake side by side, I'm going to go for the cake 100% of the time. There are still great pies out there, but cake is superior. This is objectively true. Not really a question, more of a film request. I'd love to see you watch and react to the movie Inbred. Okay, I think I know the movie you're talking about. I think it's a British movie. There probably are a couple of movies with that, but if it's the one I'm thinking about, it's one that came out maybe about a decade ago. I can put it on the list. If I'm ever in the mood for like a gory movie or something like that, I could probably put that on. But yeah, I can put it on the list. Everything okay? At the moment, yeah. When I'm recording this, actually, there's we're going to be raining all day, so it might flood. But overall, yeah, I'm okay. People saying you're single, is it true? Oh, I am so far removed from single. Oh, no. My wife and I have been together for over a decade. This year's going to be our 11th wedding anniversary, I think. Yeah, married, got a little girl. I'm not single. I am not single in the least. I am so married. Very happily married, I might add. She is not the old ball and chain. We're partners with each other. And I am forever grateful that I found this woman, and also just so happy that she's in my life. No, I am not single. Sorry. Favorite ice cream brand and flavor? Actually, I don't know about that. The one that we buy the most often is Bluebell. It's probably my favorite one right now. Although I gotta say, if I had to pick any ice cream in the world, like if I could have ice cream from anywhere, it'd probably just be like a lemon sorbet from Mexico. Like that was my ice cream growing up, like a lemon sorbet, that or a chocolate ice cream, and it could be from any street vendor. I'd probably have that too. But if we were talking about a brand, probably Bluebell. Fuck, Marry, Kill: The Nun, the Witch, Helena Marcos in the original Suspiria. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Fuck the Witch, marry Helena Marcos, kill the nun. Now, oddly enough, my wife and I just found out that at the Houston Horror Film Fest this year, Bonnie Aarons is actually going to be there signing autographs and taking pictures. The nun herself, Valak herself. So I might actually get to meet her. If you had to choose one food to eat for the rest of your life, why is it the wide family of food popularly called tacos? Why? 1, tacos are delicious. 2, like you mentioned right now, it's a wide family of foods. If you just say, I'm going to have tacos for the rest of my life, that's your meat, that's your vegetables, that is everything under the sun, seafood, pork, chicken. Like, the combinations are endless. If you wanted to, you could eat tacos every day for the rest of your life, and you would have very few repeats. If you had to choose to remove either Star Wars or Star Trek from existence, which would you send into the memory hole and why? Why would you Sophie's Choice me like this? Oh. If I had to choose one of them. Okay, first of all, Star Wars would not exist without Star Trek. Star Trek was really the turning point for science fiction. Star Wars, on the other hand, is also one of the things that heavily popularized science fiction. We wouldn't have the summer blockbuster if it wasn't for Star Wars, and to another extent, things like Jaws and Cosmic Echoes of the Third Kind and things like that. Both are so integral to film and science fiction as it exists today. I don't know if I could choose one, but if I had to choose, if I was forced to choose one, I would say Star Wars. That's the one that you would have to send down the memory hole, because without Star Wars, you still have Star Trek. You still have the franchise that has inspired so many others, including Star Wars. I think, I wouldn't say that would still exist without Star Wars, but I think you would call a lot more science fiction if you took Star Trek out of the equation. What is your opinion of David Cronenberg? Genius. The man has turned body horror into an art form. It is, you know, I realize his movies are not for everybody, you know, things like Rabid, for example. But he has done amazing work. His son too. Like I've seen a couple of movies that his son's done. I did a reaction to one 2 years ago, Possessor, that unfortunately got taken down for copyright. And honestly, it's been so long I don't even know if I'm ever going to put it out again. But the man's done fantastic work and just made disturbing into an art form. And David Lynch, similar answer. David Lynch has done some very, very good work. It's like, how do you make a mindfuck enjoyable? I think he's figured it out. I don't know the exact formula, but he's got it figured out. And of David Copperfield, now we're talking about the book or the Magician, because the Magician, actually remember growing up and watching some of his specials, and man was entertaining. I'm not gonna say he's not. So there you go. And of David the First of Scotland, really? Well, I mean, I guess it depends who you ask. I mean, you know, his early winnings really could have been just a lot of Henry the First kind of, you know, using him in order to, you know, establish a foothold in Scotland. It really would explain a lot of the hostility he had towards King Stephen. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends what historian you ask. And another David of your choice. Well, you know, David, my big brother at Sigma Nu, great guy. You know, hey to Dave and Joe and your two kids. Hope you're all doing great. If you could have dinner and conversation foursome with any three other people who are living or dead or undead, who would you have dinner with and conversation with, and why? Ooh. You know who I always wanted to have a conversation with, even just for 5 minutes? I would love to have had a conversation with Harlan Ellison. I'm 90% sure I would have pissed him off in some regard. But from what I understand, you know, his reputation as being just this cantankerous old bastard. He was cantankerous and he was old and he was a bastard, but he was actually a very loving and very giving person. He was also this absolute master of pushing buttons and pushing boundaries. So I would love to sit down with him. Probably also would love to sit down with Mary Shelley. I mean, the woman invented science fiction. You know, she didn't have the concept of what it is now when she created it. I would love to just pick her brain about how something like that came about. Third person. It's a tie, I think, between either Neil Gaiman or J. Michael Straczynski, both writers that have been very influential in my own writing, and again, people who push boundaries and who do so, it almost seems effortlessly. So yeah, there you go. 3.5 people. If you were to move using any method down the block to an arbitrary destination, you first have to pass the halfway point. But then you have to pass the halfway point of the remaining distance, and the next halfway point is the next remaining distance, and so on. How does it end? What? Do I look like a mythologist? What? Wait, hold on a second. Wait. Well, I guess it ends with me never getting to where I want to go? I think. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up, and how did it change as things played out? Did it change when reality began to sink in on you in high school, or when you took some classes as an undergrad? Ooh. Actually, one of the things I really wanted to be was an astronaut. And that just seemed to be one of the coolest things in the world. Also wanted to be a superhero. Now, in high school, I was really into science and physics. I was also getting into English. Now, English seemed to be more of a hobby for me. It was something that I was really interested in. I got into science fiction when I was maybe 9 or 10. And I remember the exact moment. It was when I read Rendezvous with Rama by Arthur C. Clarke. That was the one that really got me into writing and science fiction, but it also got me on this path of like astronomy and physics and astrophysics and all these different things. So I really started studying that. So astronaut or astrophysicist was kind of the path that I wanted to go on. Now, when I got to college, when I was an undergrad at DePauw, I was set on going that route. But I started realizing that a big reason that I went to DePauw was because of the English department, because of the people that I met. I met a lot of students who told me, you got to take a class with Dr. Andrea Sununu, you got to do this, this, and this. And I fell in love with that way more than I did the science part of it. Now, I still studied that, and I took a couple classes, but I figured out really early that I was only going to have time to do one. I was not going to have the time or the energy to do a double major, and I chose English because even though physics was something that I was very interested in, I realized that I derived a lot more enjoyment and satisfaction from literature and writing. So I still have a great love of science and physics and all these different things, but it's also in the interest of my writing, which right now I'm doing fantasy, but the next project is going to be science fiction. Favorite textures. I never actually thought about that, but I don't know. Cotton, it's comfortable. Who are your exes? A lot of people I don't want to talk to again. Who was the last girl you texted? My wife, actually. I made her some ramen from scratch, everything except the noodles, and I packed it for her for lunch. And I got a text from her saying that it was delicious. She loved it. She's very thankful, and I should probably do that again. Want to start talking more often? Well, like I said earlier to somebody else, I don't know who you are, but probably. Do you prefer character-focused episodes of Star Trek, philosophical episodes, or hard science episodes? They're all great. But if you're making me pick one, probably the character episodes, because from the character episode, you can get into a lot of other things, and you can actually include the other ones. I want to be your friend so badly. If you're asking me a question, sure, we're friends. Grateful for your friendship every day. Aw, me too. I don't know who you are, but sure. I'm here to support you. Thank you. Can we be besties? Not about besties, but just friends. Yeah, sure. What you doing tomorrow? Probably editing this video. Pie is superior to cake. Please rank your top 3 pies. I'm sure this isn't a controversial topic. Now, I did say cake was superior, but let me rank my top 3 pies. Top 3 pies probably have to be cherry, apple, pecan. I will not elaborate further. What song do you listen to the most? What song? I'm not sure about song. I know there's a couple of albums that I listen to fairly constantly. Stadium Arcadian by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I listen to that a lot. Dark Side of the Moon. Oh, that's a standard for me. Californication by the Chili Peppers. I listen to that a lot as well. I don't know if I know like the one song that I listen to, but Chili Peppers, Pink Floyd. I listen to those a lot. Who's the friend that supports you the most? That would be my wife. No question, my wife. Right now, she's the one that's working full-time while I'm doing some side jobs here and there, but she's giving me the chance to write. She's giving me the chance to actually be a writer full-time right now. So yeah, she's the one that supports me the most. That's it. So thank you very much for all your questions. Hope I've answered them to the best of my ability. And I'll probably do this a little bit later. I mean, we're about to pass 7,500, so we'll probably do one for, I don't know, let's shoot for 8,000 this time, see how that goes. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your questions. Let's keep going. I'll see you later.